If someone would have told me I was getting a divorce at age 56, leaving my home and my business, I would have told them they was a lie and the truth ain't in it. Well, this is my divorce story. Tracy Bryant here for Life After Divorce Show. And I have a question. Forgive or not to forgive? That is the question. For the last 2 weeks, I have not done a video. I have not shown up live on Life After Divorce. I'm going to go into why. I had the beautiful experience of witnessing the birth of my great-grandchild. Yes, I'm of the age to have a great-grandchild. Okay? And with that, I went into a deep depression. Now, you would think having a great grandchild is something to be elated about, something to be happy, something to, it's a big experience that should bring joy and calm and excitement, all of these beautiful emotions. Well, in having all of those, I had mixed emotions of sadness, emotions of anger, and the emotion and experience that I really identified with was the spirit of feeling like a failure. I had never experienced what it felt like to feel like a failure until last week. I tried to identify with what is this emotion? What is this I'm feeling? I was in such a dark and deep place. I was at the place of doing the unthinkable, right? And it was bad, y'all. It was bad. And if you look in my shorts, I just shared a short showing how many people show up in depression. Depression often looks like, makeup done, face beat, hair done, classy, sometimes elegant, fly, happy, smiling, joyous, laughter, right? And the whole time, a person is going through a deep, dark state of depression. Depression doesn't always look like sweatpants and sad stories, sad music, not bathing, not doing your hair. So depression doesn't always look like that. And I've been one to be able to maintain levels of my depression and continue to keep going on autopilot while being depressed. Many women don't even know they're depressed because they associate their depression with being tired. And they'll just say all the time, "Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired." When really they're depressed. Depression comes through not being able to articulate or express deep personal sadness. Depression comes through grief. It is part of the bereavement process. So many times when we leave those people we love, when we're experiencing divorce, that is a deep sadness and a bereavement. There's a grief there, and it causes major, major depression. So, how am I connecting the birth of my great grandchild to the depression of my marriage? Well, I'm going to let you know. When I came here to Atlanta with my then husband, we had discussed how we were going to create our marriage, our legacy as a relationship, as a bond, as a commitment, and also how we were going to go about creating our family legacy. Now, remember, marriage and the one that you choose to connect with and go into covenant with and become one with, share that soul connection and that identity, has everything to do with the foundation of your family legacy. Everything to do with you and your family's legacy. The one you choose to go into that sacred covenant with. So, if you're following me, you understand where I'm going, right? So, I went into sacred covenant with my previous husband, my husband, and we had so many discussions about legacy and about growing in our creativity and also connecting to our dreams and our purpose in our business individually and together. So I'm under the impression and the assumption I'm with someone who totally gets me and totally understands me. They understand my drive. They understand my ambition. They understand my hustle. They understand my vision. I'm under this assumption because it's an assumption because I was under the belief as well. It was a belief. In that marriage, you could not have told me that my husband, my ex, was going to sabotage, do things to sabotage our relationship. You couldn't have told me that, and I would have believed you. I probably would have cussed you out. I probably would have let your ass have it. Okay? Because for one, you going against my marriage. And if for two, you going against my man. Right? Because I was standing 10 toes down in that marriage and for that man. I wouldn't have believed you. I would not have believed you. Right? But as time went on and I began to build, and why do I say I and not we? Because I already came into the relationship with resources, with vision, with a business, with plans, and with 10, 11 years of business investments, business education, business know-how, because I was an entrepreneur when he met me. It wasn't a hobby. When he met me, I had just released my storefront a year before me and him got together. And I was in business almost 10 years before me and him got together. So I was in business when he met me because what I did is I took a portion of the business and instead of having a storefront, I began to travel in order to still execute my business. I just released the storefront. So when he met me, I already had an established business, EIN, LLC, tax accruing business that was successful. When I met him, I had this. I just seen, I'm going to share it. I just seen where a brother was telling us people who would listen, don't get you a man in survival mode. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Never date a man in survival. Never fuck with a man in survival mode. He's gonna bring you down. But most ladies, they don't understand this because they want to be loved. They want to got some man. I got some man. I got some man. I got some man. I got some man. And at the same time, this man is bringing them in more ways than one. When you have to give to him to help him to pay his bills, I'm just sending him this because he needs this. That motherfucker is in survival mode. If he can't take you out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and pick up the tab 1, 2, 3 times per week, yeah, I said it. That motherfucker is in survival mode. Never stuck with a man who's in survival mode. Ladies, listen to me and listen to me well. I'm Caribbean. Never fuck with a Caribbean man who's in survival mode. Never fuck with an American man who's in survival mode.
Baby, I heard that and said, oh Lord. See, and these are the things we need to hear before we say I do. He didn't map it all out, all the things on where a man is in survival mode. Okay. Now we got some women in survival mode too, but I ain't talking to the women right now. I mean, I am talking to the women right now. I'm not focused on the women in survival mode. Hell, most of us, most everybody, 90% of the people on the earth is in survival mode. If you really want to talk about it, right? But I'm with a man who I feel I have connected with in a vision, on a vision. And he understood this vision. And he understood me and my drive. And like I said, my hustle and my education, my business experience. Why did I think that? Why did I think that when he had a hobby? He had nothing legally set up for his so-called business when I met him. Why did I think that? And then here I come with all my business sense and knowledge and help him. Right? Right. So when a man comes and he's in survival mode, because everything he described was this man, my ex, my husband, everything he described as far as what he had or didn't have. The fact that he was in survival mode meant that he became an opportunist. So I was an opportunity. He wasn't in love with me when he got with me. He wasn't in love with me. There's no way you can make me think he was in love with me. He love bombed me for sure. Okay. But I became lunch for him. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. With the dessert on the side, baby. You hear me? So I say all of that because the depression came from me thinking about when I came to Atlanta with my then husband. I came here with this grand vision that I executed. I already had all of the things to be successful. And once I married him, I established his last name, meaning he was on everything that I created. So he was also part of the brand, as well as me loving him and wanting him to succeed. Really wanting him to succeed in his life, in his world, for his well-being, for his self-value, wanting him to succeed to that level, you know, and to grand capacity where he could not only just help himself, but help his family. Because see, that's what I was on. I'm still on it. I just no longer have a husband to do that with or a man to do that with. And I'm okay with that today. So I went into a deep depression because I know how hard I worked. I know how much I sacrificed. I know how much I shared. I know how much I gave. And I thought I was sharing and creating this vision for our legacy and our family legacy, and that it was understood what we were doing here. And it wasn't. To where I had to release everything and took major L's. I took major losses to the point now my great grandchild is here, and everything I had worked for within that 6 to 8 year span with him, I no longer have. as far as the financial benefit of it. Now, me and him, we coming up in age. We coming up on 60s. I was establishing all these things. So me and him, when we got to 60, 61, 62, we can relax. Everything will be taken care of itself. But when you have more hustle, more drive, more vision, more experience, and more education than the mate you're with, the man you're with, as much as they love you and enjoy all of the fruits of your labor and the opportunity, there is going to be resentment and jealousy, and it is going to show up. So while in the relationship, there was things being said and done to reduce and shrink my self-worth, my value, and to make me feel as though, make me doubt myself, make me doubt my confidence, right? There was a lot of things being done, and this was all because of how he felt about himself. So hell yeah, I'm mad. Yes, I'm depressed. I was depressed. I was so depressed, so low, because I felt like this sweet, beautiful, young, innocent, pure child is coming here, and this is where great grandma is. Great grandma don't have her shit that she worked hard for to keep for all of us involved. So I felt like a failure, and ultimately he failed us, failed me, failed himself, and he failed my family as well as his. He failed our family. He failed in the legacy. So I feel cheated. Feel cheated, and it's causing anger, right? And I'm sitting here wondering, where's the apology? Where's the apology? I haven't gotten an apology. And when I mean apology, I'm not just talking about calling me saying, oh, if I did all these things. I'm not just speaking about coming to me and saying, I apologize if I did X, Y, and Z. No. Tell me, why are you apologizing? Express and explain to me where you fucked up. Straight up, where you fucked up. Okay? So, the highly spiritual people always say forgiveness. Even me, I've even said, forgiving is not for the offender, but the offended, right? For not forgiving is like you drinking the poison and expecting the person who did you wrong to feel the poison, to move on, to expire. Okay. Um, you hear all of these euphemisms based on forgiveness, right? And I do agree that forgiveness is personal. It is personal. Let's be clear. Forgiveness is personal. You might not be ready to forgive. And forgiveness is not based on a time frame. Don't give me 2 years to forgive somebody. I can't stand when somebody come to me and say, dang, you still there? You haven't forgiven him yet, or you haven't forgiven her yet? No, I haven't. And that's okay. Maybe not forgiving for you is part of your healing process. I know it is for me. I've always said, not forgiving. Forgiveness is not for the person who offended you, but it's for you, so that you can get up out of the victim state. Right? I've always said that because I've always felt that. But with this experience, I have to say my views have changed, because I don't feel like a victim. I don't feel like a victim at all in this, even because I have taken responsibility and accountability for my part in choosing the mate that I chose, in choosing him, where I was in my emotional, mental, and spiritual landscape at the time I chose him. All of the false information that I received before getting into that relationship and why I chose him. Even as far as the stuff I didn't see with the trauma bonding, I've accepted all of that. I have. In order for me to get to this level and for me to do my work, I've accepted that. However, no, I think my forgiveness comes in was when I let him make it. When I let him make it. Because it was going to get ugly and treacherous. It was going to get ugly and treacherous. And the fact that I let him make it and let me make it, because it was going to be some consequences and repercussions for what was going on with me at that time and what I had on my mind to do. It was going to be some real consequences and repercussions. So I feel like in letting him make it and me not stepping over the ledge, that's my area of forgiveness. That's my area of forgiveness. So I'm going to use this fuel to recreate, restore, and re-envision my family's legacy with me. With me. I wanted to bring in a man. I wanted to honor my husband as a king. And I did that. I did that as long as I can do it. But it got to a point where I no longer was being honored as a goddess and a queen. I was being undervalued. I was being misused, and I was being devalued and underappreciated, verbally, mentally, and it started to increase to a physical level. And that's why I said, I let him make it. That's my forgiveness. That was actually emotional intelligence too. So I am going to use this anger as fuel. I am going to become the alchemist that I know I am, and this is how I am going to win. This is how my family is going to win. Would I have loved to have a brother, a man, a real man, join me so that my family can see a healthy, loving relationship with their mother, their grandmother, their great-grandmother, their great-great-grandmother? Would have loved to leave that legacy and foundation for the generations of my family to come? Yes, I would have. But as of today, coming up on 59, that's not the case. And I'm learning to accept and live with that. And to be happy in it. And to be joyous. And to speak of my anger. And speak of me not being willing to fully forgive. You disappointed my whole family legacy. No, I ain't forgiving. No, hell no. And that's okay. See, we are always set up as women like we supposed to forgive and we supposed to be, nurturing all the time and kind. And, oh, don't say that. That's not ladylike. Oh, you shouldn't feel like that. Stop telling me. I don't want society or those highly so-called spiritual people and them high, non-conforming people and those highly judgmental Christians to tell me what I'm supposed to feel and how I'm supposed to feel and how I'm supposed to act based on some old, outdated ass social norms and roles that are stimulated and encouraged through the foundation of patriarchy. Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah, forgive or not to forgive? That is the question. What will you do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm still going to win. I love you. I'm Tracey Bryan, right here at Life After Divorce Show. If you found that this video brought you some value, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of your love and support. And if you'd like to join a community where it is a safe and sacred space where women over 40 are sharing their experiences of recovering from divorce, go ahead and join us at the Rebirth Collective community on Facebook. If you'd like to join our email list, and if you'd like to get a hold of my new book, Heartbreak to Happiness 10 Steps to Recovering from Divorce, go ahead and click the link in the description section. I appreciate all of your love and support. And remember, you can do this. You can do this. Identify with your feelings, call them out, and go through the process that is personal for you. Okay? We can do this. It's called life and love after divorce. Peace and blessings. Be well. Be sure to watch this next video. Join our safe and supportive community for women who are over 40, recovering from divorce and in the process of reinvention and finding happiness. The Rebirth Collective.